restless nights, worries, and troubles, all because of the label of being a grown man. The weight of responsibility has settled on his shoulders, dragging along unseen burdens that grow heavier with time. People often say that youth is about being reckless, chasing after desires, and indulging in whatever one wants. But some people don't have a foundation to push off from, no springboard to leap forward. They start with their own hands, carrying nothing but the resilience forged through hardship, the maturity that comes before its time, and a silent perseverance in the face of difficulties. For them, there is no solid foundation, no material wealth, only happiness when achieving something. The road they take, from the moment they set foot on it, is uncertain and unstable, with no guiding lighthouse to point the way. Dreams and aspirations gradually fade like smoke, leaving only a flicker of light that occasionally appears. Then, they abandon personal goals and the desires they once burned for. Many things do not allow them to make choices for themselves, not even choosing their own partner. Why? Because reaching a stable destination requires an immense amount of time and effort. The simple act of earning a daily meal and supporting a family already exhausts them. Thinking about themselves is a luxury they cannot afford. Their life is one of sacrifice, filled with hardships, yet never for their own benefit. Their happiness comes from seeing others happy. Meanwhile, their own selves remain lost, struggling to find a place of belonging amidst the chaos of life. That's how it is. Please try to understand and empathize if they sometimes reveal their exhaustion. Because we only get one life to live, and if we live it without being true to ourselves, then perhaps we haven't truly lived at all. He sat alone by the window, watching the rain pouring down outside, and suddenly let out a long sigh over the past. He once thought that certain people and memories would never fade. But as time passed, he realized that everything eventually becomes a thing of the past. We all have moments when we nostalgically think about things that no longer belong to us. It could be unfinished conversations, unfulfilled promises, or the paths we once walked with someone. We hold on to memories in our hearts, unable to let go, unable to turn back. But one day, we will no longer feel anger, resentment, or even sadness when we think about certain names. It's not that we've forgotten, but we no longer see them as important parts of our lives. Like old books, we can flip through them, but we no longer wish to read them again. Life continues, even if sometimes we pause too long on a particular chapter. But time never waits for anyone. The flow of people continues. Life pushes forward, whether we want it to or not. And eventually, even the things we once thought we could never forget will no longer cause an ache in our hearts. The roads we walked, the songs we once kept replaying, the messages we held on to for so long will all become distant. We can't wait forever for something to change. We can't wait forever for someone to come back. One day, we will learn to accept and let go. Not because we never loved, but because growing up teaches us that some things, no matter how much we hold on to them, will never return to the way they once were. Let the past sleep peacefully, and let yourself move forward, light and free, without carrying burdens from yesterday. The weight of life and the art of letting go. There are moments in life when the weight of responsibility feels overwhelming, pressing down on our shoulders like an invisible burden. For many, growing up means stepping into a world where expectations are high and sacrifices are inevitable. The journey of becoming an adult is not always about reckless youth, indulgence, or freedom. Some people never have the privilege of a carefree childhood or the luxury of making mistakes without consequences. For them, life begins with nothing but their own two hands. There is no safety net, no guidance, just the sheer determination to push forward. Their foundation is not built on material wealth, but on perseverance and resilience. They learn to endure hardships, to mature before their time, and to suppress their emotions in favor of survival. Happiness, for them, is not found in possessions, but in the small victories achieved through struggle. The paths they take are uncertain, filled with doubts and obstacles at every turn. Unlike others who may have clear directions and guiding lights, they navigate in the dark, hoping to find their way. Dreams, once vivid and full of hope, slowly fade like mist in the morning sun. The ambitions they once held so tightly slip away, replaced by the relentless demands of reality. Sacrifice becomes a daily ritual. They do not live for themselves, but for those who depend on them. Their own desires are set aside as they work tirelessly to provide for their families, to meet the expectations of society, and to secure a future for others. The thought of choosing personal happiness feels like an unattainable luxury. Love, passion, and self-fulfillment become distant concepts, things meant for someone else, not for them. And yet, deep within, there's an unspoken longing, a silent cry for understanding. If they sometimes seem exhausted, distant, or lost, it is not because they lack strength, but because they have given too much of themselves. They've spent years carrying burdens alone, never pausing to ask if they deserve more. If they falter, it is not a sign of weakness, but a reminder that even the strongest hearts need rest. But what happens when time moves forward, and all that was once significant begins to fade? The past, once a collection of vibrant memories, becomes a distant echo. There was a time when they believed certain people would stay forever, that some bonds were unbreakable. But time, relentless and indifferent, proves otherwise. People leave, promises remain unfulfilled, and the conversations that once held meaning dissolve into silence. We all hold on to memories, some painful, some beautiful. We cling to them as if they define us, afraid that letting go would mean losing a part of ourselves. But there comes a moment when we realize that the things we once thought were essential no longer hold the same weight. The names that once made our hearts ache no longer stir the same emotions. The wounds that once felt unbearable eventually heal, leaving only faint scars. It is not about forgetting. We do not erase the past, nor do we pretend it never existed. Instead, we reach a point where we no longer allow it to control us. Like a book we have read too many times, we can revisit those pages, but we no longer wish to linger in them. Life continues. It does not wait for us to be ready. The streets remain busy. The world keeps moving. And whether we choose to walk forward or stay behind, time does not pause. And so, we must learn to let go. Not because we did not love, not because it did not matter, but because holding on serves no purpose when the past cannot change. One day, we learn that love is not just about holding on, but also about knowing when to release. Growing up teaches us that some things, no matter how much we cherish them, will never return to what they once were. No amount of effort, no amount of longing can turn back time. So we let go. We let the past rest where it belongs. We stop waiting for people who have long moved on. We stop replaying old songs and rereading old messages. We stop searching for meaning in places that no longer exist. Instead, we take a step forward, lightly, freely, without the burdens of yesterday. Not because we never cared, but because we have learned that true strength lies in the ability to move on. And as we walk ahead, we realize that life was never meant to be lived looking backward. The future awaits, and the only way to embrace it is to leave the past where it belongs behind us. A life of responsibilities. Jack grew up in a humble home with his mother, Mrs. Loy. His father had passed away when he was young, leaving his mother to raise him alone. Despite the hardships, she never let Jack feel the weight of their struggles. She worked tirelessly, ensuring he had everything he needed, instilling in him the values of respect, hard work, and kindness. Jack had always been ambitious. From a young age, he dreamed of building a career that would allow him to support his mother and give her a comfortable life. After years of working in construction, he was now preparing to open his own business, a workshop specializing in home design and renovation. But amidst his career aspirations, Jack had another important person in his life, Lai Tu Tien. She was a woman of grace and resilience, having faced her own share of struggles. Unlike Jack, who had dreams of business and success, she found happiness in the simplicity of life, gardening, cooking, and taking care of her home. Though they came from different worlds, their love for each other was deep and unwavering. March 8th, a special day for two special women. A gift for his mother. That morning, Jack woke up early to prepare a special surprise for his mother. He had carefully chosen a handbag that suited her elegant yet youthful style. He wanted her to feel appreciated, not just as his mother, but as a strong and beautiful woman. When he arrived at her home, he found her sitting in the garden, lost in thought. "Mom," he called gently. She turned and smiled at him. "Jack, you're here early today." He handed her the gift. "Happy International Women's Day, Mom. Thank you for everything you've done for me." His mother unwrapped the gift and gasped. "Oh, Jack, this is beautiful." She traced her fingers over the fine details of the bag. "You always know what I like." Jack grinned. "Of course, Mom. I pay attention." She chuckled. "And what about Lai 2TN? Did you get her something special?" Jack nodded. "A bracelet. Something to remind her that I'm always with her." His mother looked at him with admiration. "You're a good man, Jack. Always treasure the people you love." A heartfelt gift for Lai 2TN. That evening, Jack went to see Lai 2TN. He found her in the garden, tending to her vegetable beds. She was completely focused, her hands covered in soil as she carefully hoed the earth. "Jack!" she exclaimed in surprise. "What are you doing here?" Jack smiled and held out a small box. "Happy International Women's Day, 2TN. I got you something special." She wiped her hands on her apron before taking the box. When she opened it, she gasped. Inside was a delicate silver bracelet with an engraved charm. "Jack, this is too much," she whispered, her eyes welling up with tears. Jack took her hands in his. "Zudi so eat, Dutian. You've always been by my side, supporting me. This is just a small way to show you how much I appreciate you." She wiped a tear from her cheek and smiled. "Thank you, Jack. No one has ever made me feel so cherished." He pulled her into a gentle embrace. "From now on, I want you to always feel loved and cared for." Challenges and decisions. Though Jack and Lai 2TN's love was strong, their lives were moving in different directions. Jack was focused on expanding his business, while Lai 2TN was content with her simple life. One evening, as they sat under the stars, Jack shared his thoughts. "I'm looking for a location to open my workshop," he said. "It's a big step, but I know it's the right move." Lai 2TN looked at him with admiration. "I believe in you, Jack. But does that mean you'll be even busier?" Jack hesitated. "Yes, I'll always make time for you. I promise." She nodded, though a hint of worry lingered in her eyes. A few days later, Jack's business demands started increasing. He spent long hours away, traveling between different locations to find the perfect spot for his workshop. Lai 2TN missed him, but she didn't want to be a burden. One evening, Jack returned, exhausted. He sat down beside her, sighing heavily. "You're working too hard," she said softly. Jack took her hand. "I just want to build something meaningful, 2TN, something for our future." She smiled, though deep down, she wondered if his growing ambitions would one day pull him away from her simple world. A test of love. As Jack's business plans progressed, he faced a dilemma. He found the perfect location, but it required him to move to another city for a while to set everything up. One evening, He sat with his mother and Lai, Tian, contemplating his decision. If I take this opportunity, I'll have to be away for a few months, he admitted. His mother looked at him with understanding. You must follow your dreams, Jack. But remember, no success is worth losing the people you love. Jack turned to Lai, Tian. Tian, what do you think? She hesitated before saying, I'll always support you, Jack. But I won't lie, I'll miss you. Jack felt a pang in his heart. He didn't want to leave, but he also didn't want to give up his dream. After a long silence, he took her hands and said, Then come with me. Lai Tian's eyes widened. Jack, I know it's sudden, he continued, but I don't want to be apart from you. Let's build this life together. Tears welled in her eyes. She had never imagined leaving the life she had always known. But as she looked into Jack's determined eyes, she realized something. Home wasn't a place. Home was wherever he was. She took a deep breath and smiled. Okay, Jack, let's do this together. Conclusion, a new beginning. Jack and Lai Tian embarked on a new journey, side by side. Though they came from different worlds, their love and respect for each other bridged the gap. His mother watched them with pride, knowing that her son had not only found success, but also a love that would last a lifetime. As they stood in front of their new workshop, Jack took Lai Tian's hand and whispered, This is just the beginning. And indeed it was. A beginning of dreams, love, and a future built together. March gently arrives, bringing with it the delicate fragrance of blooming flowers. It is the pure white of grapefruit blossoms, the dreamy purple of freshly bloomed Lagerstroemia, or the fiery red of bombax flowers against the vast blue sky. March is not only the time when nature changes its attire, when trees and flowers flourish, but also the season of love and appreciation for the gentle yet strong women in our lives. The women in our lives can be our mothers, who tirelessly care for us, ensuring each meal and peaceful sleep, watching over us on every step of our journey. They can be our sisters, our friends, always ready to share and listen to our deepest thoughts. They are our teachers, who instill knowledge and life lessons in us. And perhaps they are also ourselves, each woman a radiant flower with her own beauty and story. Dear Mother, I may have never had the courage to say how much I love you. In the early mornings, you rise before dawn to prepare breakfast for the family. Late at night, you sit quietly by my side, worrying while I immerse myself in my studies. You are the softest light, the one who teaches me to love and be strong. I know that time never stops, and you have endured so much to raise me. Today, I just want to say, Mom, I love you so much. And you? When was the last time you gave a bouquet of flowers or shared words of love with the women around you? Have you ever given yourself a beautiful flower as a reminder that you, too, deserve to be loved? Today, let's send the most beautiful flowers and the sincerest words of love to the special women in our lives. March 8th is not just a day for giving flowers and gifts. It is a time to cherish and honor the women who have walked beside us. It is a reminder that love should not only be expressed on one day, but should be something we give every single day. Love your mother. Love the women around you as they have unconditionally loved you. Today, send a wish, a hug, or even the smallest gesture of care. Because women deserve to be loved, not just today, but always. Have you ever believed in fate? Do you believe that every person is born with their own destiny? The story of Jack and Lai Tian is not just a journey of love, but also a test of fate, sacrifice, and dreams that were once too far to reach. Jack, a young man full of ambition, determined to build a solid career. Meanwhile, Lai, 210, a gentle girl carrying the wounds of her past. They met as if fate had arranged it. Their days together were filled with happiness, but life is never easy. One day, Tu Tian discovered she had polycystic ovary syndrome, POS, a condition that severely affects fertility. Silent tears fell, sleepless nights followed. But by her side, Jack remained, a man willing to sacrifice everything to protect their love. I love you, not because you can have children or not, but because you are you. Jack said those words with sincerity. March 8th, a day when the world honors women. But for Jack and Tu Tian, it marked the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. That night, they were together, cherishing the sweetest moments, bonding through love and hope. And then, a miracle happened. A tiny life was created from their love. From the wedding night on March 8th, if everything went smoothly, after 280 days, a child would be born around early December. A baby boy carrying a special fate, the essence of love, resilience, and all the challenges his parents had overcome. Being born in December, the child would belong to either the Sagittarius or Capricorn zodiac sign, possessing strong qualities. If a Sagittarius, November 22nd to December 21st, a cheerful, energetic boy with an insatiable curiosity about the world. Like his father, he will have a strong desire to reach new heights and never back down for challenges. If a Capricorn, December 22nd to January 19th, he will be determined, practical, and resilient. From a young age, he may take on responsibilities for his family, just like Jack did. According to the 5 elements in Gohan, a child born in winter carries the earth or wood element, symbolizing endurance, reliability, and the ability to overcome all obstacles. Fate is predetermined, but the love of his parents will be the guiding light on his path. Beyond the zodiac and 5 elements, the child's destiny is also influenced by their birth date and time. If born in the rat hour, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., he will have a sharp mind and a bright future. If born in the rabbit hour, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., he will be blessed with noble supporters, loved wherever he goes. If born in the rooster hour, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., his life may be full of challenges, but perseverance will lead to great rewards in the future. Based on the 4 pillars of destiny, 2 true, year, month, day, and time of birth, the child may carry a special destiny, such as Heavenly Seal, Tianan, Righteous Authority, Qin Quan, or Food God, Tukthan. If born under the Heavenly Seal, he will be intelligent, creative, and have strong leadership skills. If born under the Righteous Authority, his life will be stable, leading to great success in his career. If born under the Food God, he will possess extraordinary talent, possibly excelling in arts or business. Additionally, astrology also considers the influence of 3 harmony combinations, Tam Hop, and 4 conflict groups, Tuhan Sum. If born in the years of the dragon, monkey, or rat, life will be smooth, bringing luck and fortune. If born in the years of the tiger, horse, or dog, more challenges may arise, but with strong willpower, he will overcome all. Jack and Tu Tian have endured the toughest of times together. Now, they are about to welcome their little angel, the greatest hope and happiness of their lives. This child is born not just from love, but also from resilience and faith. So, what will be the destiny of this boy? Will his life continue the miraculous journey of his parents? Or will he embark on a new adventure, filled with surprises and challenges? Only time will tell. If you want a more detailed horoscope reading, comment below this video. Everyday stories and deep emotions. Life is a series of small stories woven together by the words, actions, and emotions of people. Through the conversations of the characters, I sense a vivid picture of love, effort, and simple joys. It is the story of Lai Tu Tien, a hardworking girl dedicated to her farm work, always striving to improve her life despite her health limitations. It is the story of Jack, a man determined to find new opportunities after significant changes in his career. And it is also the story of their friends and family, always ready to support and share. All of these have stirred in me strong emotions and deep reflections on the meaning of life. This story is not just a journey to explore emotions from conversations, but also a tribute to the beautiful values that people can bring to each other: love, perseverance, unity, and simple happiness. Let us step into the world of these characters to feel and reflect on life through their perspectives. Love and care, the invisible bond. Love is the flame that warms the human heart, and care is how we keep that flame burning. In the conversations, the love between Lai Tu Tien and Jack is portrayed in a genuine and delicate way. The bracelet that Jack gave Tu Tien is not just a gift, but a symbol of the bond and affection he has for her. I can imagine the moment Tu Tien holds the bracelet in her hand, her eyes sparkling with joy mixed with a hint of worry. She fears that the heavy farm work might damage the gift, but at the same time, she does not want to make Jack sad by not wearing it. Her decision to wear the bracelet when meeting Jack and carefully store it when working is a testament to the respect and love she has for him. Jack, despite his busy schedule, always pays attention to Tu Tien's health. He reminds her to take her medicine, rest, and even offers to take her home after the market. His words, though simple, are filled with sincere care. I can feel the warmth in every sentence he speaks, as if he is using his love to shield Tu Tien from life's hardships. Their love is not flashy or loud, but quiet and enduring, like a small stream flowing through difficult days. Their love makes me reflect on my own life. Sometimes we are so busy chasing grand things that we forget true happiness lies in small acts of care. A kind word, a gentle look, or a silent gesture for the one we love. Love and care not only make life more meaningful, but also give us the strength to overcome life's storms. Effort and perseverance, the unstoppable journey. Life is never a smooth path, and the characters in the story are living proof of the spirit of effort and perseverance. Lai Tu Tien, with her calloused hands from work, harvests cabbage every day to sell at the market. She dreams of using the little money she earns to buy piglets and improve her family's life. Despite the heavy rains that damage the vegetables and her health that does not allow her to overwork, Tu Tien does not give up. She cuts the old leaves to feed the chickens and calculates every penny to achieve her dream. Her perseverance moves me, as it reminds me that no matter how harsh the circumstances, as long as we do not give up, we can still find light at the end of the road. Meanwhile, Jack and Juan are also facing their own challenges. Together, they search for a location to open a workshop, but the journey is not easy. They have looked at many places, from those with high prices to those with inadequate infrastructure. Jack even had to sell a house to raise capital, and Luan is ready to provide financial support to help him realize his dream. Despite the mounting difficulties, they remain patient, continuing to search and believing that one day, their efforts will pay off. Looking at their efforts, I cannot help but wonder, what keeps them from giving up? Perhaps it is their belief in themselves and their desire to build a better future. Their perseverance is a great lesson for all of us. In life, not everything goes smoothly, but as long as we keep trying and moving forward, every difficulty becomes a stepping stone to success. Support and unity, the power of community. One of the most beautiful things in the story is the spirit of support and unity among the characters. When Jack struggles to find a location, Juan does not hesitate to offer financial help. Uncle Dung, an acquaintance of theirs, is also willing to show Jack an unused workshop, hoping to help him solve his problem. These actions, though small, are a great source of encouragement, helping Jack feel that he is not alone on his challenging journey. Beyond helping each other, the characters also show concern for the broader community. In their conversation about supporting children in the Highlands, they plan to survey and build bridges, bringing electricity to difficult areas. I can imagine the Highland children cheering with joy when they have a new bridge to cross the stream, or their eyes lighting up when they see electric lights for the first time. This unity not only changes the lives of those helped, but also brings deep happiness to those who participate. Support and unity are the strengths that help people overcome their limitations. In modern society, where individuals are easily caught up in their own lives, such acts of sharing remind us that we need each other to survive and thrive. A strong community is not only built from individual talents, but also from hearts willing to open up for others. Change and adaptation, opportunities and challenges. Life is a series of constant changes, and the ability to adapt is the key to not being swept away. Jack, after quitting his job at the construction company, faces a major turning point in his career. He no longer has the stability of a familiar job or a steady income. But instead of being discouraged, he chooses to adapt, seeking a new direction by opening a workshop with Juan. This change is not easy, but it opens up an opportunity for him to test himself and prove his worth. Similarly, Lai Tu Tien is also learning to adapt to her circumstances. Her weak health and limited finances do not stop her from finding ways to improve her life. She grows vegetables, raises pigs, and even though things are not perfect, she patiently finds suitable solutions. The changes in her life are not what she wished for, but she turns them into motivation to move forward. Looking at them, I realize that change is not always something to fear. Sometimes, it is the door that leads us to new opportunities and lessons. The important thing is to be ready to face it, to adapt, and to believe that after every setback, there is always a path to continue. Simplicity and happiness, joy in small moments. Despite the characters' lives being full of worries, they still find joy in simple things. A glass of fruit juice, a chat with friends, or the sight of piglets running around the farm. All bring them moments of happiness. Tu Tien, though tired from work, still smiles when Jack cares for her. Jack, though stressed about finding a location, feels relieved when he is with Tu Tien and shares with friends. These moments make me realize that happiness is not something distant, not grand achievements or expensive gifts. Happiness is when we appreciate the small things around us. A kind word, the morning sunlight, or a peaceful moment with loved ones. In the rush of life, we often forget this, but it is these simple things that nourish the soul. Lessons from everyday stories. Through the conversations of the characters, I feel the power of love, perseverance, unity, adaptability, and simple joy. Love and care are the foundation for building lasting relationships. Effort and perseverance are the flames that help us overcome difficulties. Support and unity are the strength of the community, and adaptability is the key to embracing new opportunities. And above all, happiness does not lie in grand things, but in the small moments we cherish. The lives of Tu Tien, Jack, and their friends are a mirror reflecting the beautiful values of humanity. They remind me that no matter how difficult life gets, as long as we do not give up, continue to love and share, the light of hope will always be there. This story is not only a tribute to the emotions that the conversations bring, but also a reminder to myself. Live fully, love wholeheartedly, and find joy in every moment of life. Hung appears with a dark scheme. The lives of Jack and Tu Tien are gradually settling down after busy days. Jack has just completed the sale of his house for over 9 billion VND and is preparing to open a new company, while Tu Tien continues to work diligently on her farm, always being a spiritual support for him. However, they're unaware that a lurking danger is approaching. Hung, who was once Jack's secretary and betrayed him in the past by selling confidential information from his old company to competitors, has not given up her desire for revenge. Her jealousy and envy resurface as she sees Jack happy with Tu Tien and beginning to achieve new successes. In the previous episode, Hung secretly took photos of Jack and Tu Tien at the farm while they were tending to the corn and chatting intimately. These photos, which were meant to be their memories, have now become weapons in Hung's hands. She quietly devises a plan, starting with using the photos to spread rumors aimed at shaking Jack and Tu Tien's relationship and ruining Jack's reputation before he can open his company. Development. Rumors and suspicion creep in. Hung begins her actions by spreading rumors within the community and on social media. She releases gossip claiming that Jack is only using Tu Tien to get money to open his company, that he is not truly serious about her and only sees her as a stepping stone to return to his former successful life. The secretly taken photos are cleverly edited by Hung, leading viewers to misunderstand that Jack is engaging in shady behavior behind Tu Tien's back. The rumors quickly spread, reaching even Jack's acquaintances, including Luan, his close friend who is helping him find a location for the company. Jack starts to notice changes. Some potential partners he was negotiating with suddenly withdraw, citing that they do not want to collaborate with someone with an unclear reputation. Meanwhile, Tu Tien also hears whispers from the people around the farm. Although she trusts Jack deeply, she cannot help but feel uneasy. One day, Hung sends Tu Tien a direct message with the edited photos, accompanied by the text, "Are you sure Jack really loves you? He's just using you to get money." The photos show Jack an intimate conversation with another woman, actually a manipulated image from one of his business meetings. Tu Tien is stunned. She doesn't want to believe it, but the images before her eyes make her heart confused. She chooses to remain silent, not telling Jack about the message or the growing doubts in her heart. Jack, on the other hand, notices that Tu Tien is becoming distant. She smiles less, and her eyes often avoid him. He presses her, but Tu Tien only says she is tired and needs time to rest. Suspicion silently creeps into their relationship, just as Hung intended. Climax, kidnapping, and a dramatic confrontation. Seeing that the rumors are not enough to break Jack and Tu Tien's relationship, Hung decides to take her plan to a new level. She hires a group of strangers to kidnap Tu Tien while she's alone at the farm. One afternoon, while Jack is busy inspecting a location with Juan, Tu Tien is suddenly overpowered by the group and taken to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. Frightened but strong, Tu Tien tries to stay calm and find a way to contact the outside world, but her phone has been confiscated. Hung appears before Tu Tien, no longer hiding her hatred. She reveals that she once had feelings for Jack, but he never noticed her. Her betrayal in the past was the result of hurt and anger from being rejected by Jack. Now, she wants him to lose everything: love, career, and future. Hung sends Jack a short video showing Tu Tien tied up, along with a threat. If you don't abandon your plan to open the company and leave Tu Tien, she will never return. Upon receiving the message, Jack is nearly driven mad with worry and anger. He immediately contacts Luan and explains the entire situation. The two quickly devise a plan to search for Tu Tien. Based on details in the video, such as the distant sound of a train whistle, they guess the area where Hung is holding her. Meanwhile, Tu Tien attempts to free herself. She discovers a piece of broken glass in the warehouse and uses it to cut the ropes, but before she can act, Hung returns. Jack and Luan finally locate the warehouse. A tense confrontation ensues. Jack rushes in to overpower Hung's men, while Luan calls the police for support. Amid the chaos, Jack faces Hung directly. She smirks maliciously and says, "Do you think you deserve happiness? I will make you lose everything, just like how you abandoned me." Jack responds coldly, "I never intended to hurt you, but you have no right to destroy my life and Tu Tien's." The argument ends as the police arrive, arresting Hung and her accomplices. Reunion and lessons learned. After rescuing Tu Tien, Jack holds her tightly in his arms, both unable to hold back their tears. Tu Tien confesses the doubts she had kept in her heart because of Hung's message. Jack explains everything, recounting his past with Hung and affirming that he truly loves Tu Tien and never intended to use her. Though still a bit shaken, Tu Tien chooses to trust Jack and overcome this storm with him. Hung is arrested by the police and must face the law for kidnapping and threats. Jack and Tu Tien decide not to dwell on the past, but they cannot forgive what Hung has done. Through this ordeal, they realize that both love and careers need to be built on a foundation of trust and determination. Jack continues with his plan to open the company, while Tu Tien becomes his greatest source of motivation. The drama ends with Jack and Tu Tien standing together at the farm, looking toward the future. However, the story leaves some open questions. Will Hung truly give up her desire for revenge? And what secrets from Jack's past might be revealed in the future? These details open up possibilities for future episodes, promising more drama and emotion. The afternoon sun cast a soft golden glow over Tu Tien's small farm, filtering through the trees and spilling on her modest garden. She was busy repairing the pigsty, her hands moving deftly despite the faint weariness in her eyes. Ever since she started taking her medicine, Tu Tien had been plagued by drowsiness, but she never complained. For her, the farm work was a source of joy, a way to push past the sleepy haze that often clouded her days. Her thoughts were interrupted by the ring of her phone. It was Jack's mother, whom she affectionately called Aunt, on the line, her voice warm and caring. "Tu Tien, are you at home today or out harvesting?" "I'm at the farm, Aunt," Tu Tien replied gently. "How have you been feeling since starting the medicine?" "I'm fine, Aunt. Just a little sleepy, that's all." Aunt urged her to eat well and take care of herself, even inviting her to come visit. Tu Tien smiled and promised to make time. She knew Aunt treated her like a daughter, especially since she'd begun treatment. The brief conversation left her heart warm. Hanging up, she gazed out at the distant fields, silently resolving to stay strong, not just for herself, but for those who cared about her, especially Jack. Meanwhile, back at home, Jack had just returned from scouting locations with Luan. He stepped inside and greeted his mother. "Mom, I'm back." She was watching the news, turning to him with a smile. "Sit down, son. How's work going?" Jack settled in and recounted his progress on starting a company. The legal paperwork was done, but he hadn't found a suitable site yet. He needed a workshop around 1,000 square meters, but the spacious places lacked infrastructure, while the ready ones were too small. His mother listened intently before offering her thoughts. "In my opinion, you don't need to start with a big workshop. Look at Uncle Tang. He began modestly, and he's kept it going all these years. Why don't you reach out to him?" Jack nodded thoughtfully, though his heart yearned for something grander. He didn't just want to fulfill his grandfather's dying wish, to heal and help the poor. He also wanted to test his limits and carve his own path. He told his mother, "I want quality to come first and to help those truly in need. I know this path is tough, but I want to try, Mom." His mother gazed at him, her eyes a mix of pride and concern. She saw the fire of ambition in her son, but she also knew the road he'd chosen wouldn't be easy. That night, Jack sat quietly at his desk, lost in thought. He mulled over his mother's words, Uncle Tang's example, and the upcoming trip abroad. He decided to visit Hong, a successful friend overseas, to gain experience before launching his company. It was a hasty decision, but he believed it was necessary to prepare thoroughly. The next morning, he called Tu Tian to share his plans. She was studying, and her heart sank slightly as she listened. "Will you be gone long?" she asked, her voice tinged with sadness. "I'm not sure yet, but I'll call you often," Jack reassured her. Tu Tian nodded silently through the phone, though he couldn't see. She knew Jack was under immense pressure, and she wanted to support him fully. "Don't worry about me. I'll visit Aunt so she won't feel lonely," she said. Jack smiled faintly. "I've asked Mom to check on you too. Just promise me you'll take your medicine regularly. All I want is for you to be healthy." Tu Tian replied, "Yes, don't worry. I'm hoping for good news soon too." The call ended, but a quiet ache of longing had already settled into both their hearts, even though Jack hadn't yet left. Late that afternoon, Jack arrived at Tu Tian's place with a bag full of supplies: rice, milk, noodles, her favorite, and some snacks. She looked at him, surprised. "Why'd you buy so much? I can't eat all this. I'll be gone a few days. I don't want you running out of anything," Jack said with a grin, setting the bag down. Tu Tian offered to cook a proper meal to send him off, but Jack waved it off. "Noodles are fine. I like simple things," she agreed, heading to the kitchen to prepare 2 bowls of instant noodles. When she brought them out, Jack's eyes lit up. "Looks delicious. You even added herbs and scallions." They sat down to eat, chatting as they did. Tu Tian recalled the first time Jack had made noodles for her, back when she'd been clueless about instant ramen. Jack laughed. "You were so cute then. Now you cook better than me." Afterward, they sat sipping water under the soft glow of a lamp. Tu Tian, ever thoughtful, reminded him to pack warm clothes and medicine, worried about the cold weather abroad. Jack teased, "I'm strong as an ox. Don't fuss over me." But he relented, promising to pack carefully. That evening, Jack left to finish some work, but not before promising to return later. As she walked him to the door, Tu Tian's heart felt heavy. "Take care of yourself, okay?" she said softly. Jack turned back, giving her a gentle hug. "I'll be back soon." The next morning, Jack headed to the airport. Before boarding, he texted Tu Tian, "I'm off. Be good, okay?" She replied, "Safe flight. I'll wait for you." The flight lasted a few hours, but to Jack, it felt endless. He missed Tu Tian, his mother, and their little home back in the village. When he landed, he called her immediately. Seeing her face on the screen eased his homesickness. "I'm here. It's beautiful. I'll send you pictures," he said. Over the next few days, Jack immersed himself in learning from Hong. He toured his friend's company, taking meticulous notes. Yet every night, he called Tu Tian, sharing stories of the new things he'd seen. Back home, she kept her promise, staying healthy and visiting Aunt. Though miles apart, their bond held strong through each call. 2 months later, Jack returned. He'd lost a little weight, but his eyes burned with determination. Tu Tian met him at the airport, throwing her arms around him without a word. "I'm back," he whispered. At home, he shared his experiences with his mother and Tu Tian. He decided to start small, as his mother suggested, finding a modest workshop and partnering with local healers for medicinal herbs. "I want to help our people, like Grandpa wished," he told Tu Tian. She smiled. "I believe in you." Time passed, and Jack's company took shape. Together with Tu Tian, he traveled the village, bringing medicine to the poor. Each smile they received fueled their joy. Though the work was hard, they knew they were on the right path, one of compassion and ambition. The story ends at dusk on the farm, where Jack and Tu Tian stand side by side, gazing toward the horizon. They'd overcome challenges, and now their dream was slowly coming to life. Distance and the transformation of the heart. The phone rang in the quiet midday air of the small house. Jack's mother picked it up, her voice gentle. "Let's call Tu Tian and see how she's doing." "Tu Tian, are you going harvesting today?" On the other end, Tu Tien replied politely, "Hello, Annie. I'm at the farm right now." Jack's mother smiled, picturing the petite girl amidst rows of green vegetables. "How have you been feeling since starting the medicine?" she asked, her tone full of concern. "I'm fine, auntie. I just feel a little sleepy, that's all," Tu Tien answered softly. Jack's mother sighed in relief, offering advice. "Make sure you eat well, okay? If you don't, the medicine might make you tired." Tu Tien agreed, then gently declined an invitation to visit. "I'll arrange some time to come play with you later, Auntie." The brief conversation was warm, like an invisible thread connecting the family. Jack's mother thought to herself, "Thank goodness, the girl's strong, so the medicine doesn't seem to tire her out." That afternoon, Jack returned home after a long day. "Mom, is Jack back?" he greeted, stepping into the living room where his mother was watching the news, a steaming cup of water on the table. They chatted, from the weather turning sunnier to Jack's grand plans. He shared his dream of starting a company, searching for a 1,000 square meter space, but still unsatisfied with the options. "I want to do it right, to help the poor like Grandpa wanted," he said, his voice low but resolute. His mother listened, then advised, "I don't think you need to start with a big workshop, son. Uncle Tang began small and has kept it going for years." Jack nodded, his gaze distant. He didn't just want a business. He wanted to forge his own path, to bring meaning to life. Then Jack mentioned his upcoming trip abroad. "I want to meet Brother Hong to learn some experience before opening the company," he explained. His mother agreed. "Go ahead and explore. Gaining experience is good." She asked him to visit Tu Tien before leaving and promised to look after her in his absence. Jack nodded, a mix of warmth and worry rising in his chest. He thought of Tu Tien, her gentle smile, her resilience. He didn't want to leave her, but this trip was necessary. Late that afternoon, Jack drove to Tu Tien's farm. She was sitting with an open notebook, studying, her handwriting neat like her personality. Seeing him enter, she looked up. "Have you been here long?" Jack smiled. "Just got here." "Are you studying?" He set down a bag, rice, noodles, milk, and breakfast items he'd bought for her. "I noticed the medicine makes you sleepy, so I got some things to help you stay nourished," he said tenderly. Tu Tien smiled. "I still have rice. You didn't need to buy more." They talked about fixing the pigsty and how she'd cut back on harvesting to preserve her strength. Then Jack hesitated. "Tu Tien, I'll have to go abroad for a while." She paused. "Will it be long?" He shook his head. "Not sure yet, but I'll call you." Tu Tien nodded, hiding the emptiness creeping into her heart. "Go with peace of mind. I'll manage and visit Auntie," she said, her voice steady. Jack looked at her, his heart tightening. "I'll send you photos," he promised. Tu Tien smiled. "Yes, I'd love to see you over there." They shared a simple meal of noodles she cooked. "It tastes so good because you made it," Jack said, his eyes warm. Tu Tien blushed. "I just hope you travel safely." Night fell, and Jack returned home to pack. The next morning, he headed to the airport. The sky was misty as he passed through security, texting Tu Tien, "I'm boarding now. Be good at home." She received it while sitting by the window, gazing at the fields. She smiled, but a vague unease stirred within her. She didn't know that Jack's departure would open the door for someone else to enter her life, bringing unexpected changes. In another corner of the story, Tone, a young, successful CEO, watched Tu Tien from afar. Years ago, when he was a struggling boy, he'd collapsed in the forest from hunger and illness. Tu Tien, then just a simple farm girl, found him, gave him water, and nursed him back to health. Tone never forgot her kindness, But more than gratitude, he'd fallen silently in love with her. He left for the city, built a career, and quietly helped Tiên whenever she struggled, sending money for pigsty repairs or medicine through intermediaries, never revealing himself. He'd confessed his love to her more than once, only to hear her say, "I already have Jack." Tone stepped back, but his feelings never faded. When he learned Jack was going abroad, Tone saw his chance. He started visiting Tien's far more often. One morning, as she struggled to fix a leaking pigsty roof, Tone appeared, carrying a large bag. "Tien, let me help," he said, his voice warm. She looked up, surprised. "Tone, why are you here?" He smiled. "I was passing by on business and saw you working hard." He rolled up his sleeves, fixed the roof swiftly, then pulled out milk, pastries, and supplements from the bag. "You're on medicine. You need to eat well," he said, caring in his tone. Tien thanked him, but a flicker of confusion crossed her mind. In the days that followed, Tone kept showing up. He brought fresh vegetables from the city, repaired the farm gate, even hired help for her heavy tasks. He was gallant, attentive, always there when she needed him. One rainy afternoon, as Tien got drenched covering the pigsty, Tone arrived with an umbrella and a new raincoat. "You can't get sick," he said, gently draping the coat over her. Tien looked at him, her heart stirring at his sincerity. "Thank you, Tone, but you don't have to do this," she said softly. Tone smiled sadly. "I just want you to be happy. Abroad." Jack called Tien every night. "I miss you so much," he said through the screen. She smiled. "Me too. Come back soon." But she didn't mention Tone, not wanting to worry him. Slowly, Tone became a familiar presence in her life. He told her about his tough past, about the day she saved him in the forest. "I've never forgotten you, Tien," he said one evening, sitting on her porch. She stayed silent, her heart wavering. One day, Tone took her hand, looking into her eyes. "I know you love Jack, but I can't stop loving you. I'll wait, no matter how long." Tien pulled back, but this time she didn't reject him outright. She thought of Jack, the distance, the times he was too busy to check on her. Then she thought of Tone, his warmth, his patience. Her heart was in turmoil. She began missing Tone when he wasn't around, smiling when he appeared. Her love for Jack remained, but a part of her heart had opened to Tone. The day Jack prepared to board his flight home, he stood before the mirror, checking his luggage. He thought of Tien, longing to hold her again. At home, she received his text, "I'm on my way back to you." She smiled, but tears rolled down her cheeks. She didn't know how she'd face Jack, now that her heart held more than just him. Tone watched her from a distance, his eyes full of hope. Is this trip abroad Jack's way of testing Tien's feelings? Perhaps not intentionally, but the distance he created unwittingly gave Tone an opening. Their love, once simple and deep, now stood at a crossroads. When Jack returned, would Tien stay with him, or had her heart truly shifted toward Tone's steadfast devotion? Only she could answer, but Jack's journey, by chance or fate, have become the greatest test of their love. Amidst the tranquil backdrop of rural Vietnam, Tu Tien's story unfolds as a vivid portrayal of everyday life, love, and simple yet profound aspirations. Tu Tien is a resilient young woman who lives and works on a small farm, surrounded by sprawling rice fields and gentle hills. Her life revolves around tending to crops, livestock, and maintaining relationships with her family, friends, and her distant lover, Jack. Through the rich dialogue in the video, we see a Tu Tien who is both strong and tender, constantly striving to build a better life. This essay delves into her daily life on the farm, her romantic relationship with Jack, her family dynamics, the support from her community, and her personal growth, highlighting the beauty of rural Vietnamese life. Tone, a potential rival to Jack when Jack goes abroad. In the story of Tu Tien, a resilient young woman from rural Vietnam, CEO Tone emerges as a key figure. He is not just a close friend, but seems to have special feelings for Tu Tien. When Jack, her boyfriend, goes abroad for work, Tone visits her frequently, positioning himself as a potential rival. Tone's role and personality. Tone appears in Tu Tien's daily life, saying things like, "Today I was passing by for work and thought I'd drop in to see Tu Tien." He helps with tasks like fixing the water bridge or tending to the pigs, showing care beyond friendship. Despite being a busy CEO, he remains approachable, thoughtful, and practical, expressing his concern through actions. Signs of Tone's feelings. Tone's affection is evident through frequent visits, especially when Jack is away, wholehearted help with demanding chores, a subtle, reserved demeanor, letting actions speak for him, seizing the opportunity. Jack's absence leaves a gap in Tu Tien's life, which Tone uses to grow closer to her. He cites excuses like passing by, but his true aim is to build a bond. While his feelings may be genuine, his approach reveals a clever strategy. Impact on Jack and Tu Tien's relationship. Tone's presence complicates things for Tu Tien. She balances a distant love with Jack and Tone's nearby support. If Jack finds out, jealousy or distrust could arise. For Tu Tien, Tone offers encouragement but also risks stirring confusion. Tone is a potential rival to Jack, taking advantage of Jack's time abroad to approach Tu Tien. His presence creates a dramatic love triangle, highlighting the tension between a faraway romance and the comfort of proximity in Tu Tien's life. Daily life on the farm. Tu Tien begins each day before the sun rises. The crowing of roosters breaks the quiet of the countryside, waking her from sleep. Her farm is a small, colorful world. Lush vegetable beds, lively chicken coops, and the occasional bark of dogs when strangers pass by. Her first tasks of the day are feeding the chickens, collecting eggs, and checking on her pigeons and loyal dogs. Recently, she decided to expand her farm by buying piglets, a choice that not only aims to increase her income, but also reflect her passion for animal husbandry. In the dialogue, Tu Tien mentions preparing feed for the pigs. "I'm cooking pig feed, Jack. I have some cornmeal here, and I'll add some vegetables too." She uses corn and vegetables from her own garden, showcasing a self-sufficient lifestyle and knowledge of sustainable farming. Caring for the piglets is not just a chore, but a source of joy. She eagerly watches them grow healthy and strong, becoming an integral part of her farm. The small black piglets she bought from Mrs. Guy's house, after inquiring and negotiating at the market, are a testament to her patience and determination. Life on the farm isn't always easy. Unexpected heavy rains can ruin her vegetable garden, as she recounts. "This time, a lot of my vegetables were damaged because of the rain. Half of the cabbages rotted, and I had to feed them to the chickens." But Tu Tien doesn't give up. She repairs the damage, replants new crops, and continues her work with optimism. Her perseverance and love for the land not only help her overcome challenges, but also inspire those around her, like her friend Tone, who often visits and lend a hand. Relationship with Jack. Amid the busy farm life, Tu Tien's relationship with Jack is an emotional highlight. Jack, her boyfriend, is currently working abroad. Despite the geographical distance, their bond remains strong through phone calls and messages. In the dialogue, Tutan wonders, "I don't know if I should call him. I'm afraid he might still be on the plane, and I won't be able to reach him." Her concern shows that she constantly thinks of Jack, wanting to stay connected while respecting his busy schedule. Jack is a thoughtful and affectionate man. He left Tutan a notebook filled with loving words. "I may not show my emotions, but I know that since I met you, every day has become more special. I love you. I cherish every moment with you." Reading these lines moves Tutan. "I never thought Jack would write something like this for me." These messages are not just encouragement, but a thread that ties them together during their time apart. Their phone call at the end of the video further reveals their deep affection. "I've just arrived, Tutan. I miss you so much," Jack says, to which Tutan replies, "I miss you too." Despite the distance, they maintain trust and support each other. Tutan focuses on her work to put Jack at ease, while Jack asks his mother to look after her. Their relationship is a testament to modern love, overcoming distance through understanding and technology while preserving the warmth of traditional values. Family dynamics. Family plays a crucial role in Tutan's life, especially her relationship with her mother. In the mother-daughter conversation, we see a mother full of worry and love. "I still worry about you the most. You're getting older now, but you're always so focused on work." She hopes Tutan will soon settle down and start a family, reflecting a familiar cultural norm in Vietnam, where family is a spiritual anchor and parents often expect their children to marry early. Tutan appreciates her mother's concern, but also feels the pressure of these expectations. She tries to balance managing the farm, nurturing her relationship with Jack, and meeting her family's wishes. However, she knows that decisions about her personal life require time and must come from within. Their conversations are not just exchanges of information, but expressions of love, even when their views differ. Tutan's family extends to other relationships, like her sister and Tone, a close friend who is almost like a brother. Their visits and support enrich her life and bring warmth, even as each is busy with their own work. Community interaction. Living in the countryside, Tutan is never truly alone. She is always surrounded by community support. When she wanted to buy piglets, she asked around at the market and was directed to Mrs. Guy's house. "There's Mrs. Guy's house near mine. She has pigs." Later, Mrs. Guy's family even helped transport the piglets to her farm, exemplifying the mutual aid characteristic of Vietnamese villages. Negotiating to buy 4 black piglets for over $1 million each also shows her sincerity and flexibility in dealing with sellers. Tone, her close friend, is also a vital part of her community network. He often visits, helping with tasks like fixing the water bridge or tending to the pigs. Today, I was passing by for work and thought I'd drop in to see Tutan. His presence not only lightens her workload,
Anh sợ như thế rồi có vất vả quá không em? Tại vì hàng ngày em lại còn phải đi.
3 adorable kittens. I saw them and thought they were so cute, so I bought them for you to raise. This unexpected gift not only shows affection, but also indicates how much Tutan is cherished by her community. These interactions highlight the value of connection and mutual support, an indispensable aspect of rural life. Personal growth and aspirations. Tutan embodies ambition and resilience. Buying piglets is not just an economic decision.
Anh mời từ cái đống nước nhé.
She shares with Jack. "I bought 2 pairs. I want to raise them and then breed them, Jack." This shows her foresight and willingness to invest effort to achieve her goals. Beyond economic aspirations, Tutan dreams of a happy family with Jack. Though they are currently apart, she hopes for a shared future where they build a life together on this land. To achieve this, she faces numerous challenges, managing the farm alone, maintaining a long-distance relationship, and balancing work with personal life. Yet, through the dialogue, she remains optimistic. "I'm fine. Just take care of your health, okay?" Tutan's growth is not only economic, but also emotional. She learns to be independent, manage her emotions in Jack's absence, and find joy in daily tasks. The piglets, the new kittens, and the thriving garden are the fruits of her relentless effort and a source of motivation to keep moving forward. Tu Tien's life on the farm is more than a tale of agricultural labor. It is a journey of love, family, and self-reliance. From caring for piglets and maintaining her relationship with Jack to receiving support from her community and family, she exemplifies the strength and patience of a modern woman in a traditional rural setting. This story not only highlights the beauty of countryside life, but also emphasizes the importance of love, family bonds, and community spirit in shaping a meaningful life. Through Tu Tien, we see the image of humble yet determined Vietnamese people, always striving for a brighter future.
Jack's mother and her lover held a wedding ceremony for Jack while Li Tu Tien was pregnant. One late afternoon, Jack took Tu Tien to the hospital to get the test results. Tu Tien nervously held Jack's hand tightly. Her heart was filled with worry and hope. She thought she couldn't have children. But Jack never gave up. He went to the best doctors, secretly helped her with treatment without letting her know too much, to avoid pressure. The doctor smiled and gave them the results. Tu Tien can still have children. It's just hormonal imbalance that reduces ovulation. But with modern medical treatment and techniques, it is possible that her mother could be completely restored. Tu Tien could not believe her ears. She turned around with tears in her eyes. Jack gently hugged her in his warm voice. "You promised to always be with me. As long as I still hope you will not leave me alone." Jack came home that evening, bringing the test results of Tu Tien to tell his mother. Jack's mother is sitting in the living room. "See, son looks serious." She immediately asked with concern, "What's wrong, son?" Jack slowly sat down and put the test results on the table. "Mom, this is the result of Tu Tien. She can still have children." Jack's mother was stunned for a moment, then her eyes softened. She knew this was a great pain for Tu Tien. It's also something that Jack always keeps in mind. "So the girl has hope." Her voice was gentle. Jack nodded, his eyes shining with determination. "I asked the doctor to use the best technique to help her. Treatment just takes time and patience. I believe that one day, you and Tu Tien will have a complete family." Jack's mother looked at her son, her heart filled with emotion. Finally, she smiled, took my hand and led me. Her voice was deep and warm. "If you are determined, I will always support you. Tu Tien is a good girl. Mom believes she deserves happiness." Jack squeezed his mother's hand. A warm feeling rose in his heart. "I know the road ahead may not be easy, but I will never let go of Tu Tien." Jack's mother took the test results and read each line. Her eyes softened and she was a little moved. "She knows. My son has secretly done many things for Tu Tien." Remember the past, when Jack was silently worried about the children of Tu Tien. She understood that love. Son for her, not just a male-female relationship, but a deep attachment that is not easily changed. Jack's mother looked at her son. Her voice was gentle but carried a hint of reproach. "So you have been secretly helping her all this time, without telling Mom?" Jack smiled with determination in his eyes. "I just want to be sure before I say rah. Tu Tien once thought she could not have children. That makes her very self-conscious. If there is no clear result, I don't want to give her hope and then disappoint her." Jack's mother nodded. She understood her son's personality. "I am not an easy person. Give up anything you hold dear." She sighed and put the results down on the table, her eyes looking far away. I used to think that it is a pity for a woman who cannot have children. But later, when I saw you and Tien together, Mom realized that true happiness does not only lie in children. You chose the right person, Jack. Jack was silent when he heard his mother say that. His mother had some doubts about Tien, but now she fully recognized her. She smiled gently and continued. But now that I know you, the baby can still have children. The mother is even happier. Not because Mom wants to have grandchildren soon, but because Mom knows this will help her feel less anxious and have more faith in the future. Jack took his mother's hand, his voice warm. Thank you, Mom, for understanding and supporting me. Tien is the one I love. Whether she can have children or not, I will not leave her either. Jack's mother looked at her son, her heart filled with pride. She knows for sure. Not the easy type, influenced by other people's words, but his steadfastness and sincerity for Tien moved her. She nodded and patted her son's hand. I believe in you. I also believe in Tien. You to just rest assured and live happily. Children will have their own way. Jack smiled, feeling lighter than ever. I know that no matter how difficult it is, just need Mom and Tien by my side. I will definitely protect my happiness to the end. After all the storms, misunderstandings and challenges, Jack finally decided to marry Tien. He wants her to have a clear identity, want her to be the woman he will cherish for life. Jack doesn't want a simple wedding, but a meaningful one. He chooses everything himself, from wedding flower location to wedding rings. Tien was touched, but also reminded him many times not to be too fussy. She just needs him by her side. But Jack was adamant. You have kept me waiting too long. This wedding must be perfect. Jack's mother also supported her son in preparing. She not only cares about Tien, but also want everything to be perfect for their big day. That day, the whole space was decorated with roses, white and candlelight. The wedding was held in a large garden, where you can fully feel the romance and sacredness. Tien wears a pure white wedding dress, stand in front of the mirror, but still can't believe that she is about to become Jack's wife. She put her hand on her stomach. Think about the future and the good things that await. When walking up the aisle, she saw Jack standing there in a smart black suit, gentle eyes only for her. He gave his hand, hold her hand tightly, like a promise to never let go. The priest asked, I'm sure you agree to marry Tien. Wife promised to love, protect and cherish her for life. Jack looked straight into Tien's eyes and spoke firmly. I agree that I will only love her in this life. Tien was moved to tears when she heard those words. The priest turned to her. Tien, do you agree to marry Jack? With him through all the hardships and happiness ahead? Or not? She smiled, tears rolling down but full of happiness. Yes, I agree. Jack gently placed a kiss on her lips. The whole hall resounded with applause. At the wedding party, my mother took the microphone and spoke. From the first day I met Tien, I knew she was special. Today I see you two officially become husband and wife. Mom is really happy, Jack. You must treat your wife well. Don't let the child suffer. Here. Jack smiled and hugged Tien. Mom, don't worry, I won't let her be sad for even one day. Laughter everywhere. But at this moment, Jack only looked at Tiu Tian. Finally, she is his, and he will spend his whole life loving her. After the guests left, Jack picked Tiu Tian up and put her on the bed. Now I am your wife. Stop teasing me. Tiu Tian blushed and punched him lightly in the chest. Don't tease me anymore. Jack smiled gently, placing his hand on her face, eyes full of love. Thank you for agreeing to be my wife. I will always protect you no matter what happens. Tiu Tian put her arms around Jack. Know that from here, they will walk together on the road of happiness. After the wedding, Jack took Tiu Tian on their honeymoon. On a beautiful island, blue sea white sand, and cool breezes makes both of them feel like they are in a dream. Jack woke up early in the morning to prepare breakfast for his wife. When Tiu Tian woke up, she saw him bringing food to bed. Smile gently. Honey, wake up and have breakfast. Tiu Tian laughed and rubbed her head against his chest. I spoil you like this. What if you become lazy later? I will kiss you lightly on the forehead. I will love you all my life. The following days they went scuba diving together. Walk on the sand. Enjoy a romantic candlelight dinner. Always holding Tiu Tian, as if afraid she would disappear from him. One night, when both of them sat on the hotel balcony watching the night sea, suddenly pensive. After the honeymoon is over, I will start planning to open a finance company. Are you ready to accompany me? Tiu Tian smiled and squeezed his hand. Whether you succeed or fail, I will always be by your side. Jack looked at her lovingly. Then let's start a new journey together. After returning from honeymoon, Jack started to get to work. You and Luan discuss opening a finance company together. Jack doesn't want to repeat his old company's mistakes. He wants to build a business based on transparency and credibility. Tiu Tian is not only a supportive wife, but also actively helped Jack in his work. She manages the documents, schedule, and sometimes give ideas to help the company develop. One day, Mother took me to play. Seeing Tiu Tian busy with work, she smiled and said, "This girl just got married, but is already worried about her husband's work." Really? Tiu Tian smiled lightly. I want to give Jack a hand. This is a dream anyway. Jack's mother nodded with satisfaction. She knew Jack had chosen the right person. When Jack's company started operating, old rivals do not leave him alone easily. Some forces want to prevent the spread of false rumors about him. Moreover, CEO Tone, the person who appeared by Jiyoung's side, also suddenly turned back and showed special interest in Tiu Tian. It seems like things are just beginning. Jack and Tiu Tian finally had a perfect wedding. After many storms, they enjoyed a sweet honeymoon and together started a happy married life. Jack devoted himself to establishing a finance company, while Tiu Tian always stands by her husband. Become a strong rear. But happiness never lasts forever. If there is no challenge, as Jack's company stabilized, rival forces began to target him, want to hinder the company's development. Not only that, CEO Tone unexpectedly returned, carrying the unfinished feelings for Tiu Tian. Jack and the fairy can overcome new events together. Is their love strong enough to withstand all the coming storms? Happiness is here, but challenges still continue. Do you find the content good? Jack knew that if he continued to stay with Tien, she will be in more danger. Who was behind these threats? Not just want to ruin his career, but also want to aim at the person he loves the most. So he decided to leave her for now, to find the enemy in the dark. But if you are not around, who will protect Tien? Secretary Huang used to work for Jack's old company, but then she was fired because of the dark plots of Feet, Jack's enemy. From then on, she disappeared for a while, but now appears approaching Tien with friendly appearance, but in fact contains many scary plots. When knowing for sure to leave Tien, Secretary Huang tried to approach her at all costs. One afternoon, when Tien was home alone, she received a call from an unknown number. "Hello, Miss Tien, long time no see." This voice made Tien shiver involuntarily. "Who are you?" "I am Huang, Jack's former secretary. I have something to tell you about Jack." Tien did not know that behind that invitation to meet is a trap. Luckily before going, Jack asked a secret person to protect her. That was CEO Tone. "Even though I know that Tien doesn't love me, but still cannot stand to see her in danger. You decide. Send someone to monitor every action of Secretary Huang, and warn Tien and Tom." As soon as I knew the secretary had an appointment, the Golden Fairy immediately called her. "Tien, don't meet her. Huang is not as simple as you think." Tien was a bit surprised by everyone's attention, but when I heard his serious voice, she also began to feel uneasy. "So what does she want?" All silent for a moment, then said, "She might be plotting to harm you, or use me to force Jack to appear." Tone's words made Tien fall into deep thought. If Jack wasn't with her right now, can she protect herself? To continue, "If you don't want to get into danger, let me help you. I will protect you." Tien gently squeezed the phone. Even though Jack is not here, she is not alone, and she had to be more careful than ever. Tone silently followed the actions of Secretary Huang and discovers she is in league with an underground force. It seems that the target is not only Jack, but also is a bigger secret related to the corporation that Jack is trying to overthrow. Jack leaves, but the real battle is not over yet, and this time it's not just Jack. And Tone also had to get involved to protect the woman he loves. Will Secretary Huang achieve her goal? Can Jack turn back before it's too late? And does Tone really just want to protect Tien? Or what else do you expect? After the warning call of the hole, Tien sat silently on the chair, her heart filled with anxiety. She didn't expect that when Jack left, she became the target of those who wanted to harm him. But anyway, she couldn't let herself become Jack's weakness. That night, Tone asked people to closely monitor the movements of Secretary Huang. "I know she is not simple. Just want to meet Tien to talk." And just as he predicted, immediately after being refused a meeting, Huang went to a fancy restaurant where she secretly met a middle-aged man, full of power, he designed. In the dark corner of the restaurant, Secretary Huang lit a cigarette with cold eyes. "Jack has left. Now just deal with that woman. He will have no way back." He squinted at her with a drunken look. "Are you sure?" I heard CEO Tone is keeping an eye on her. Secretary Huang smiled with calculating eyes. All men are the same. Without Jack, sooner or later Tu Tien will rely on Tone. But don't worry, I have a way to make her leave him. How can you frown? Just spread rumors about her relationship with Tone. Then send Jack some intimate photos of the two of them. Once Jack suspects, he will push her away. Mr. Thieet laughed with delight. She was still as dangerous as ever. The scent of a curled lip must have made me lose everything. Now it's my turn to make him lose everything. But she didn't know that. The entire conversation was recorded by Tone's people. As soon as received news from subordinates, Tone immediately went to find Tu Tien. Standing in front of her door, he knocked louder than usual. Tu Tien Ra opened the door and saw Tone's serious eyes. She knew something was wrong. I have to prepare myself mentally, because from now on, there will be a lot of rumors about you. Rumor. Tone gave her the phone and showed her the picture inside. Collage photo of her and Tone standing close together. Look like they are intimate. They want Jack to misunderstand me. They want to make me his weakness. Tu Tien held the phone tightly, her heart aching. But Jack wouldn't believe these stories, would he? And looked at her eyes with a little hesitation. If it was before, I thought no. But now, he is under a lot of pressure. If they send these pictures along with some sweet words, he can waver. Tu Tien feels worried. What should she do now? Tone looked at her for a moment and then said there was only one way. I have to protect myself. I mean, seriously. I have to make the relationship clear. If necessary, I can stand up. Prove that I have nothing to do with you. But you have to be strong and don't give them a chance to attack you. Tu Tien nodded. I understand. Accept strange messages. At the same time, in a faraway place. Accept a message from an unknown number. Are you sure the fairies are still waiting for you? Attached is a photo. Tone and Tu Tien were standing talking in front of her house. From the angle, they look like they are very intimate. Jack clenched the phone, his heart sinking. Is this true or just a conspiracy? Do you have enough trust in Tu Tien to overcome this storm? Jack stared at the photo on his phone. His heart was filled with mixed emotions. I know Tone has feelings for Tu Tien, and it's not strange that the two of them appear together. But at this sensitive time, the photo was like a punch to his confidence. Jack took a deep breath. This is not the time to let emotions take over. You have to figure things out for yourself. Without hesitation, he immediately booked a flight back. While the immortals were unaware, must have decided to come back. She was busy facing another nightmare, Secretary Huang. That afternoon, when the fairy left home to go to the pregnancy checkup, a black car suddenly blocked her way. Two men in suits walked down with cold faces. The fairy invited her to come with us on a trip. Tu Tien stepped back and was wary of who you guys were. I don't know you guys, but did not react in time. One person quickly put his hand over her mouth. Pull into the car. The car sped away, leaving the road deserted. Tone was studying when he received news from his bodyguard. Mr. Tone, something happened. Miss Tu Tien was kidnapped. He stood up, his eyes darkening. What? Tone immediately called his subordinates. Request to trace her whereabouts. He knew right away that this matter was related to Secretary Huang. As soon as I set foot in the airport, except a call from Tone, Tu Chin was kidnapped. Jack's heart fell into the abyss. It is not clear who did it, but it could be Secretary Huang. Jack did not hesitate another second. He immediately ran to Tone. "Have you found her?" Jack asked in a low voice, his eyes red with anger. Tone shook his head. "I have asked people to check, but have not found any clues yet." Jack clenched his hands and spoke coldly. "If anything happens to her, I swear I will make all those behind this have to pay." Tu Chin was taken to an abandoned warehouse. When awake, she found herself tied to a chair. In front of her was Secretary Huang. "What do you want?" Tu Chin's voice was close to the secretary's cold smile. "I want you out of Jack's life." "She's crazy." Tu Chin is angry. The scent of the mouth moved closer. "If you don't leave yourself, I will make you regret it," said. Then Huang raised the phone. On the screen is a fake text message, which contains the content Jack sent to another woman. Said that he never truly loved Tu Chin. "Do you believe that Jack betrayed you?" Tu Chin stared at the screen, her heart pounding. "She is trying to divide us, but I won't believe it." Secretary Huang laughed. "Then let's see if Jack comes to save her. If he doesn't show up, she will have to think again." Thanks to a clue from the bodyguard, Jack and the others find out where the ferry is being held. When they arrive, Jack almost lost control when he saw her tied up. Pale face. Not waiting for the plan, Jack rushed straight in, threw a strong punch at one of Huang's juniors. Tone also quickly dealt with the remaining names. Secretary Huang panicked and tried to run away, but Jack stopped her in time. She thought she could get away easily, so Jack gritted his teeth. Huang was scared and stepped back, but Jack didn't give her the chance. "I will hand you over to the police. This time you won't get away." Tone immediately called someone. Must have hurriedly run to the ferry to untie her. "Are you okay?" His voice trembled with anxiety. Tu Chin looked at him with tears in her eyes. "I knew you would come." Shirley hugged her tight. His heart ached at the thought of what she had been through. "I'm sorry, I will never leave you again." Tone standing next to. Looking at them, an indescribable feeling arose in his heart. In the end, no matter how hard you try, the person that Tu Chin chose is still Jack. But deep down, I know that as long as Tu Chin needs it, I will always be there to protect you.